नित्यानन्देश्वर समारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Tanidars, Kotaris, sitting with us all over the world through Nithyananda TV, Sadhana TV, Lotus TV, and two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. From tomorrow, we are going to be having live satsang in Janashri TV also. Cities sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Tiruvannamalai Hyderabad Peetam, Calgary Amarnath, Ohio Prayag, Chorpatti Nepal, San Jose Madurai, Kuala Lumpur Palani, Nithyananda University Paris, Guadalupe Rameshwaram, Colombo Sri Lanka, Oman Sivagangai, Hong Kong Sirgari, Mexico, Pattaya Thailand, Nithyananda University Paris, St. Louis Manchester, Washington DC Sripuram, Tirukkailaya Adinam, Houston Kalahasti Adinam, Singapore Singapuram, Seattle Chidambaram, Los Angeles Arunachalam, St. Louis Tirumala, Rajapalayam Adinam, Surrey Canada. I welcome all of you, and some more cities are joining. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Today, the 6th day of the Nithyanandeshwara Brahmotsava, Mahadeva is gracing with Sundarabandya crown, the Pandya style crown. The crown will raise and open up in the back side. That is a style, Pandya style. So Sundarabandya Kridam. And Devi Meenakshi, Nithyanandeshwari in the pearl crown. And with this, they are gracing. The 6th day is dedicated to all the devotees. Today, all the devotees of Mahadeva are worshipped in Tiruvannamalai temple. Let us also remember all the great bhaktas who kept this Shiva Bhakti tradition, the tradition of Shaivism, alive in the planet Earth, and handed that over to all of us. Let me continue on. Keep it simple Shivoham series. I'll expand more on this subjective truth that one word understood can clear so many of your doubts. Please understand, all the reality you experience in your life starts in you as subjective truth. If you are experiencing richness now as your reality, this has started in you as a subjective truth at some time. If you are experiencing poverty in you as a reality now, It has started as a subjective truth in you at some time. Maybe the poverty would have started as an incompletion. I don't want to use the word subjective truth for it, because there is a difference between subjective truth and incompletion. Incompletion, by more and more remembrance which makes you weak and expresses itself as reality. Subjective truth is, by remembering it, it makes you more and more stronger and expresses itself as reality. Understand? Whether incompletion or subjective truth, listen. Incompletion or subjective truth, by more remembrance it becomes reality. Anything which weakens you and makes itself reality is incompletion. Anything which strengthens you and makes itself as reality is subjective truth. By remembrance which binds you is incompletion. By remembrance which liberates you is subjective truth. Arunachala is the subjective truth. Because smaranat mukti, by remembrance liberation, by remembrance liberation, smaranan mukti, just by remembering anything that grows in you and strengthens itself and strengthens you and becomes reality. I tell you, all our Puranas are all subjective truth. When you say, when Puranas say, Krishna just picked up the whole Govardhana hill with his little finger, it is a truth for the people who want to live that. Stupid, insensitive minds can never understand that. Stupid, insensitive minds can never understand it. When I say Arunagiri Yogeshwara appeared and gave me Kavi and initiated me, it is a subjective truth. It is truth for the people who want to live it. When I say I gave the food and Ganesha ate, it is subjective truth. It is truth for the people who want to live it. Stupids cannot understand. And one thing, just because blind man can't see, don't say world does not exist. Just because stupids can't see, don't say the subjective truth does not exist. Puranas are not myths. Actually, the so-called Western history is myth. The fellow who won the game, he wrote the history. Whoever wins the war, they write the history. It is myth. I'm changing the game now. If Hitler would have won in the Second World War, the world history would have been different. Because Hitler lost, the history is different. More number of Hindus were killed in Pakistan, in the Kashmir, and when Pakistan was separated, than number of Jews killed by the Hitler. But no one talks about it. I tell you, the so-called history you are reading is myth. All Puranas are subjective truth. All Puranas are subjective truth. Otherwise, how do you think the brains which conceived the movements of the grahas and even now the world's best time calculation and astronomical calculation method is our astrological sutras. Still our Jyotish sutras, our Panchika method, the Panchanga method is the most accurate, precise way of calculating lunar eclipse or solar eclipse or any happening in the universe. How can the brains which conceived all those things, which are able to comprehend all those things, will believe in something which is a delusion or a myth? Come on. The brain which conceived the Tanjore Brigadishwara's temple architecture, still I am not able to understand the whole thing with this, consulting with so many stapatis. We are not able to decode the mystery of the Brigadishwara temple. I am thinking that I am going to rebuild one more temple like that, little taller than that. Planning. No, but I wanted you guys to know, still I am not able to decode the whole thing. The brain which can conceive that, will it believe in any myth or delusion? These stupid fellows go on abusing the Hindu Puranas are myths. What do you guys mean? The brain which can conceive the concept of zero, the brains which has gone to the heights of theology, I tell you, no poetry can be so sublime than Upanishads. Just by sitting and reading Upanishads, I can be hunger-free, sleep-free any number of days. Enjoying, tasting, celebrating the sublime poetry expressed. Understand? A sublime poet will never be caught in delusion. Maybe a grass lusty poet can get into delusion. A sublime poet, Isha Vashyam Idagum Sarvam, Yatkincha Jagatyan Jagad, Tena Tyaktena Bunjita Makrida Kasya Sviddanam. What a subtle, sublime truth. See, everything exists, is energy. Stop identifying as I and mine with something separate. Renounce this I and mine and be liberated and celebrate and enjoy. Everything exists. Just remembering this verse, without food and water and sleep, I can spend days together. The sublime truth, these brains can never be caught in myth. Listen. Listen. These brains can never be caught in myth. And nobody understood the structure of the society. I want to tell you guys, the brains which has perceived the truths like Isavasya Upanishad, Kathopanishad, can never get deluded by myth. I give you guys assurance. Our Puranas are subjective truth. They are not myth. Our Puranas are subjective truths. They are not myth. Aryabhatta. What a intellectual brilliance in mathematics and astronomy. When he wrote Aryabhattiyam, he was only 23. He is the first guy to declare the world earth is round. It rotates on its axis and orbits the sun. At least few thousand years before Copernicus published his heliocentric theory. He is the man who declared the value of the P. See, those brains cannot get deluded by some mythological, mythical fairy tale stories, understand? All Puranas are subjective truth. All the 18 Puranas by Bhagavan Vyasa are subjective truth, not myth. And I want all of you to know, anybody who thinks I have some brain, now or in future, anybody who is going to believe, think I have some brain to understand things, that I have the level of a brain which will not be deluded by any delusion or myth or confusion. I wanted to put this on record now itself to all of you who believe in me already and who are going to believe in me in future. Be very clear, Puranas are subjective truths, not myth. Myth is the too small word to be translate the word Purana. That is why I am saying, when our masters declare Tattvamasi, you are the truth, Shivoham, I am Mahadeva. When I say Shivoham, I mean you also. You are Mahadeva. When our masters declare this truth, it is not myth. It is not myth. It is subjective truth. Subjective truth. Listen. Not myth, but subjective truth. One of the biggest attack done on Hindu tradition, Vedic tradition, is saying that all our Puranas are myths. No, really, it's one of the biggest attack. Even we started having self-doubt, I tell you. As the Dharma, all of us, all the Hindus are feeling the SDHD. Self-doubt, denial, hatred. Self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial. That is why these modern day gurus, they create their own gods and goddesses. Their own brand, gods and goddesses. Because they don't want to accept the traditionally, the worshipped gods and goddesses of Agama are true. They don't want to say Mahadeva, worshipped agamically, is real. They want to create their own version. They don't want to say the goddess Kali or Durga worshipped by Agamas, our Shastras are true. They want to create their own version. Because deep self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial, the whole Hindu society is suffering. I tell you, every Purana is true. It is subjective truth. Every Purana is a subjective truth. Somebody asked me the other day, Swamiji, some one keyword you bring, with that key suddenly you lock 2,000, 3,000 doors with which we are caught. This one word, subjective truth, has opened so many doors, cleared so many doubts with which our Sanatana Hindu Dharma society is made to suffer. I know. I am opening the door and clearing the sufferings of SD, HD, of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. They can't tolerate a brain actively working on getting these key words and opening all the major questions posed on Sanatana Hindu Dharma. See, this all the Puranas are myths and lies, stories and fairy tales. This is not just an ordinary abusal dumped on us. At least last 400-500 years, even we started believing it. Ramayana and Mahabharata are the stories more real than the reality you see around you. If you think this hall is real, this throne is real, the people who are sitting next to you are all real, and I am real, Mahabharata and Ramayana and all these 18 Puranas by Bhagavan Vyasa are far more real. Understand? I wanted all our ashrams to have a basic library. Means 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, 28 Agamas, 64 Tantras, 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas, Shaddarshana, Ubhagama, the basic Hindu scriptures, a basic library, which will be just maybe 10 lakh books. I wanted all our ashrams to have this. People should know the rich heritage. Some may have time to read, some may have time to enjoy. Everyone should at least see and celebrate. See and respect. Even if you don't read all the books in the library, at least let everyone see and bow down, understand there is something beyond your head. Have respect. No, really. Have respect. Our Puranas are much more truthful, honest, integrated, authentic version of what happened than any other historian's history. Any history written by any historians. After facing tons and tons of false accusations, lies, abuses by the modern day Puranic writers, I am telling you authentically, our Puranas are much more truthful full, integrated, authentic, responsible and enriching than any history by any historian. Puranas, authentic history. Puranas are the authentic history. Subjective truths. Work little on this concept, that great subjective truth, Shivoham. You will understand the power of Shivoham. You will understand the power of Shivoham. Understand? Subjective truth is the most powerful truth. Will become even objective reality. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. In Tibetan Buddhist tradition, there is a practice which was taken by Bodhidharma from Kanchipuram. Any truth they want to constantly remember, they will write the truth on a flag and tie it and sit under the flag. That breeze will be constantly going in them. They will sit visualizing the truth working on them. Means like if they want to realize the Buddha's teachings, they will write all that in flags and tie all around the house. The air passes through the flag, carries the truth and works inside them. It may look like superstition for the so-called superstitious fellows who believe their body is the only reality. What they push through the mouth and what being pushed out through the body, that is the only reality. For those fellows it may look superstitious, but I am telling you, writing this great truth Shivoham in a flag and hanging around your house, or as the Puranam, the thousands of beautiful decorative flags with Shivoham, 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 and letting that air constantly in you and breathing that very air in which Shivoham is mixed. It's a wonderful spiritual practice. We will demonstrate this first for this Jayanti. We will have 10,000 decorative flags with Shivoham and Nithyanandoham printed on it. And breathe that air. Celebrate that air. Even in Cambodia we will have flags. Shivoham flags. Nithyanandoham flags. And there was one jewel I saw in Madurai Adinam. I asked our Sannidhanam, because in the jewel it was written Namah Shivaya in the earring. I asked him, what is this? Swamiji, why the Namah Shivaya is written? He was telling, when you wear that in your ears, every time it moves, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya is repeated in your ears. So in our Sundaravadam, we will also carve Nithyanandoham and Shivoham. Every time it moves, it will repeat in your ears, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. We'll make Shivoham jewelries in the neck, in the ears. Every time it moves, it will repeat Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. One of the great modern day devotee in the modern era, one of the greatest devotee I have seen is Kripananda Variyar Swamigal, a great personality. I can say he is my Tamil guru. I learned Tamil listening to his speeches. Even in his underarm, he was wearing a Rudraksha by, what do you call that? Piercing. He was wearing Rudraksha. I asked him, why Swamiji? He said, even when I put my hands, I remember Muruga. When the Rudraksha pokes me, I remember Muruga. So this was all done for a constant ajapa japa. Once he was giving a lecture on how to do Shiva Puja, he was telling that the linga should be worn in the neck, and you should open it and keep the linga on the hand and pour the water and do puja. In that he was making a statement in Tamil. Angam veru, lingam veru, agakkoodadappane. Angam veru, lingam veru, agappadadu. Angam veru, lingam veru, aanal Adi Murugan arul kittadu. Angam veru, lingam veru, agadavan Adi Saivan என்பது சைவ சாத்திரம். He was saying the linga should not become separated from the body. So after the lecture, all of us went and took blessings from him and received vibhuti. I asked him very casually, Swamiji, how can the linga, the being, means I was meaning that Anma, the soul, which is Mahadeva, how can that be separated from body? It can never be separated. I told him in Tamil, லிங்கத்தை எப்படி சாமி அங்கத்தை விட்டு எடுக்க முடியும்? அங்கம் வேறு லிங்கம் வேறு ஆக முடியாதே. He was just shocked and he looked up. And he was having a vibhuti bag in his hand and giving. He just kept the whole thing and folded his hand and said in Tamil, சுட்ட பழம் வேணுமா சுடாத பழம் வேணுமான்னு அவையை கேட்டா மாதிரி என்ன கேட்க வந்தியாப்பா? There is a story where Subramanya directly comes down and corrects a great lady saint Avai, her understanding, and he himself teaches her and liberates her, gives her enlightenment by giving a important understanding. She has become a little egoistic about her knowledge, and Subramanya directly comes down and removes her ego and makes her understand and gives her enlightenment. So he said, just like you did for Avai, did you come again to give the truth to me? His humbleness. I don't know what he saw in me. I was a mere boy, a 10-year-old boy. What he saw in me, I don't know. I didn't tell anything, I just smiled and walked. Till I left the hall, he was sitting with folded hands. Only after that he started giving vibhuti to the next people who came. One of the greatest devotee I have seen in my life. So even when the hand moves, he wants to remember the Lord's name. Constantly. Whether you want to wear jewelries or pierce yourself with rudrakshas, do whatever you want. But be in the space of Shivoham. The essence of today's satsang. Subjective truth should be cherished, and lived. Subjective truth should be cherished, and lived. With this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing eternal bliss. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.